I am dark and you are light. You are blind as a bat and I have sight. It's Steve Saylor and JJ talking movies. That's alright.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? I'm Steve.
I'm JJ.
And we just saw Wonder Woman.
Yes.
We're going to talk about this segment. We have to kind of at least address the... we did see Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Quick little review of... one-sentence review of it.
Okay. More of the same, but in a good way.
Yeah. Mine is, if you like the first one, you're going to like the second one. If you love the first one, you may not love the second one.
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay. But today we got to talk about Wonder Woman. This is the fourth
There you go.
DCEU movie. They haven't had the best of luck at Warner Brothers and DC.
That's debatable. In my opinion, that's debatable.
I know. I mean, in our opinion, we like them.
Right.
But to the rest of the world, not so much.
Anyway, all right.
Critically and sometimes like audience-wise.
20 years from now, when this is all played out,
Yeah.
we'll have another discussion about looking back on how everything was as just a whole.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
All right. Well, make a note. Make a note, Steve. 20 years in the future, we're
See
gonna
you
come
then.
back. Yeah.
All right.
The way these reviews are gonna go is that we're gonna start off with our spoiler-free review at the beginning, and then our spoiler review at the end.
Yes.
So first off, I will go first. And Wonder Woman, I actually really liked.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt it was really balanced. There is a few things I kind of had tiny issues with, but for the most part, it actually it doesn't really do anything risky, or it doesn't do anything different. It plays it safe when it comes to a superhero origin story, but the way they went about it, it's a nice touch. It's a nice homage to the Wonder Woman character, and if this is as the first sort of official Wonder Woman live action movie, I think they hit it out of the park with this one. What do you think?
I may have a new favorite superhero, and not superheroine, but man, just superhero
Superhero in general.
overall. I'm sorry, Wolverine. Still up for debate though. I love this movie from beginning to end, and for me, what this movie had that most other movies in the genre didn't have is it really had heart.
Yes.
There's a real emotional
Sure.
element, and could that be because it was directed by Patty Jenkins, who is a woman? Maybe, but I don't want to say this and be like pandering towards women. Like,
No.
it's got nothing to do with it.
No.
When I went into this, I thought, just go into this as a fan of superhero movies and see what you think of it. And I loved the new take on the origin story.
Yep.
We're not entering spoilerish territory.
Not
It's
yet.
a bit of a new take on it.
It still hits the same beats of the origin story, but there are
Absolutely.
some things kind of omitted that makes it better, I think, for the DCEU.
Yeah. Yes. And I love the strength of the character. I love the strength balanced with the innocent weakness of the character. To me,
Yeah.
she was a balanced superhero. Where oftentimes in these movies, it's like, oh well, you know, we know who's going to win. We know where this is going to go. And yes,
Sure.
you do know she's going to win in the end, but there is sort of a big vulnerability that's exposed to her near the end of the movie.
Yeah.
So
and
I loved it.
I will say this too, like I like the fact that her character, I mean, and it is a strong point of the Wonder Woman character in herself. There's two things. Really, she doesn't have a weakness. She doesn't have like a kryptonite weakness,
Right.
or like can't get access to the Speed Force, or can run out of money.
Yeah.
But she is born and bred as a warrior, and she wants to be a hero. We've seen so many movies and so many tropes of characters that just like they get these superpowers and they're so reluctant to use them and be a superhero. Wonder Woman in this is like, I'm here to save the world.
She's dying to be a hero.
She was born to be a hero.
Yeah.
And like her entire race of Amazons they're born to be heroes.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I like the fact that it was set in World War I, which we don't really see a lot often of. And I think that was a good choice to kind of avoid the Captain America World War II sort of era, because I mean, believe me, I would have loved to see Wonder Woman punch Hitler in the face. But I'm cool with it set in World War I, and because it's sort of like, in a way, sort of like a forgotten war in a sense.
Sure, yeah.
But it was, or at least it was like a loss of innocence war.
Yeah.
So and that even ties into Wonder Woman as well, is that she kind of, in a small way, she actually kind of loses a bit of her innocence when and like in regards to near the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And she's not as naive with the world of men.
I would say that you brought up Captain America. I would say to play both of those movies side by side, I would say she out Captain America.
Oh, for sure.
Not that I mean, I obviously love Captain America.
Yeah.
But just that emotional element that was present in this movie, just it surpasses anything that I've seen lately in the genre.
Yeah, and Gal Gadot, like, she is absolutely charming on screen.
Yeah.
Every time you see her, like, every emotion she gives, it's like you believe that she's feeling it every second.
Funny that you went with charming. I would have said sexy first.
Oh well, yes,
you go
of course.
With charming
I mean,
if you want.
that's a given. I mean, Wonder Woman is beautiful in and of itself, so that's kind of always a given. But
she's
yeah,
gorgeous.
like she's
Smokes.
man, it's like I knew she was gorgeous before because I'd seen her in the Fast and Furious movies, and obviously we saw her in Batman v Superman for the brief time she was in there.
Yeah.
But like when you see her kind of like in her element, it's like wow,
You can't take your eyes off her.
no, and
so well cast.
and like the pairing her against Chris Pine, like that, like she outshone Chris Pine.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Pine's a pretty good looking dude as far as Captain Kirk, obviously.
Yeah.
She outshone him for sure.
Yeah.
Like, she outshone everybody. I mean, very well cast, and her presence on the screen. She has military background, dance background, modeling background, obviously an actress.
Yep.
But it's just so well cast given all her attributes and abilities.
Yeah.
Loved it.
The chemistry between the two of them are fantastic, and I like that they took the time to sort of develop that chemistry instead of just sort of like, okay, here's 2 minutes of slow stuff and then we're gonna get back into the action. Like the action, again, like I said at the beginning, it was well balanced. Like everything was balanced in place. Like you had a decent amount of action, you had a decent amount of character development, and a decent amount of story. Now, as far as things I didn't really like, I think the villains were a bit weak. A tiny, like it didn't really, they weren't really fleshed out as much as I wanted to. And there is a like. The villains in and of itself, it's kind of, I don't know, it fits within the World War I sort of like era, but I think in regards to coming up against Wonder Woman, they had to kind of go a little bit bigger, and they do, but I think it's kind of like that. The third act is where I feel its weakest point.
I see that. I liked that the villains weren't overly villainy and weren't like present the whole movie, and it just, for me, that allowed. I find with superhero movies, the villains are just so huge and outrageous all the time, and if you can have too much villain, or it's too much villain in a lot of the movies, and I like that there was breathing room, and we were able to get to know Diana and get to know Steve and get to know their relationship and the backdrop and the era. I liked that there was breathable room in that, and there wasn't this whole the villain's coming the whole time. It was, she was in search of the villain essentially through the whole movie, and I really like that as opposed to what you're saying.
Well, I mean, it's like, I don't know. I think it's more. If I say anything more, it's going to get into spoiler territory. But I think it's. I'm gonna have to disagree a little bit on that one, only just because it's like, in regards to the whole aspect of the villains. I think they could have, like, the way I did see one review where generally with regards to a hero and a villain, they're generally kind of like the stories kind of intertwine together pretty well, and I felt that in as you said, as she was in search of the villain, it didn't really intertwine. It just sort of like, villain's here, she's over here, and then they don't really intertwine until the third act kind of thing, and it just sort of, I think I would have liked maybe a little bit more interaction.
Really? I thought that was a really good payoff. That was, now she finally, well, spoiler, she finally found them at the end of the movie.
Well, I mean, it's a spoiler. It's kind of a given with a superhero origin, but I don't know, I think it's kind of like, I don't know, do you have anything more kind of before we get into spoilers?
No, let's just dive into spoilers.
Okay, so spoilers.
Here they come.
3, 2, 1. The villain's Ares.
Right.
Which we kind of figured. That's a big villain within the Wonder Woman comics. But I felt like I didn't mind the twist, but I did kind of see it early that what we thought was Ares was not Ares.
Yeah.
she was coming towards Ares, and you find out that it's not Ares, and then they try to do a switch, which sort of worked, but it was kind of almost a trope, I think, in movies now, where it's like, oh, that's not the bad guy, this is the bad guy, and you know him all along.
With regards to that, I feel like that whole switch at the end was necessary to reveal the vulnerability in her. That whole when she kills the German general guy, and nothing happens, and the war continues, and it really showed her innocence and her naivete about this world, and how she had just only grown up on the Amazon island. What's it called?
Themyscira.
She'd only grown up on that, and only known that, and only known that sort of way that war plays out. And she really had a lot of rules when it came to war, and then for it to not go by the rules, and for the war not to stop after she killed him. To me, that was one of the best moments in the movie for me.
I agree with you in that aspect. I did like that it sort of like it didn't matter what she did. It was like the war was still going to continue. So that moment was a great moment. I agree with you in that. I just think that by adding that switch in there, it sort of not necessarily negated that moment, but it sort of was like, okay, now we're into the superhero thing. And I think that's why I say it, like, they played it safe with the superhero origin story, and they didn't really sort of take a different risk with that. And because you almost kind of expect in a superhero movie like this that there's going to be a big, huge bad, there's going to be some big sort of CGI battle, and we get that. But I think it would have been better if there wasn't that switch. And I think then that moment would have stood out a lot bigger. And people might have complained that, oh well, it just the ending battle was not really that great.
I love the ending battle. Okay, so what did you think of the ending battle?
Which part? Which one? The first one or the second one?
So when she's fighting Ares. The tarmac.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of like your typical sort of CGI big baddie hero fight.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, and I forget the actor's name, but I cannot buy that actor as Ares, as a big buff, like a rock, like Dwayne The Rock Johnson size villain with that face.
See, I disagree with you. To me, that whole thing, what you're saying, and I get that, I saw that.
Yeah.
But that falls in line with the whole Michael Keaton as Batman. It's like, you would never expect Michael Keaton to be Bruce Wayne, ever. Where you would never expect this actor, sorry, I don't know your name, to be Ares. This guy, of all the guys, this frail old man.
Well, what I was hoping was that, like, that was sort of like a persona that he was portraying, and then when he became Ares, that it was maybe a different actor, but like, I don't know, or a younger version of him or something.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
I like that No Man's Land sequence.
That was gorgeous.
Oh, it was so good.
Good. I'm glad you liked it. I thought, man, you couldn't have done this any better.
Actually, I will say, like, every action fight scene that she has is fantastic.
Yeah.
The beach fight scene. Holy crap! Can those women move?
Yeah.
I loved, like, the flipping and the flying around and then, like, shooting bows and arrows and, like, flying off a horse and like stabbing some guys.
Totally see Zack Snyder's influence.
A bit, yeah. It's
Patty
a bit
Jenkins
slow
movie, but
yeah. It's slow-mo, and I get that, but actually, for me personally, I didn't like. I actually like that because it allowed me to sort of see what the action was like without it sort of being like super fast all over the screen.
Yeah.
But that was gorgeously shot. It's bright. It's colorful. It is just, like, that was great. I love the fight scene. No Man's Land. In the little town.
Yep.
Oh, that was so good, and like, especially like that's the first time you hear the Wonder Woman theme. Like, you hear it like sort of like hinted throughout, but that cello, like that part, it's like, yes, this is what I wanted. And then and then the end fight scene, that was like everything was choreographed extremely well, and you totally believe that Gal Gadot is like, yeah, she did.
The thing that I loved most about the movie, thematically speaking, was how at the end of the movie, Diana chooses love, despite being so disappointed, almost like a Christ-like figure or a God-like figure, disappointed with these humans. They keep messing up the whole time, and they just there's the way it was phrased for me really resonated. Where it's like there's goodness and badness. It's what you believe and it's what you choose, what side you choose to go on. And I feel that's so relevant
For sure.
in today's world. There's a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah.
Watching this 10 years from now, a lot of stuff happening in 2017 where things are very divided. And I
Yes.
like that she says out loud, "I choose love." And you never hear that. You never hear "I choose love." You hear "I choose a lot of things." I choose you. I choose the good guys. I choose America. Blah blah blah. But you rarely hear in a superhero movie, "I choose love." And I loved that she said that out loud.
Yeah.
To me, I was like, that was a victory for the good guys.
For sure.
That
For
was
sure.
a really thematic part at the very end. Like don't get me wrong, she kills a lot of people, and there's a process getting there. But at the end, she chooses love. I thought that was fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That she-
Overall, I think this is probably the best of the DCEU. Like as far as I liked Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
I liked Man of Steel. I was okay with Suicide Squad. But I think this, like, if they can build the whole DCEU on her,
Totally.
I am on
Exactly.
board with it.
Exactly. They need to. I mean, like I said at the beginning of this, she's now one of my new favorite superheroes. Wolverine's still there, but let's be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
But she's definitely up there. And to me, with this movie at least, and with the way the character's being portrayed, she's completely outshining Batman in this universe.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ben Affleck.
That's
That's
no, I
just how
agree.
feel.
I agree.
And if they could somehow transition the focus off of, those guys and onto this woman, based on how this movie was, I would say that would be a very wise decision.
And like, I would be totally okay if that's the direction they go, because the linchpin of the Marvel CU is that it's Iron Man, it's Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Like, he's the kind of the one who started it all. He's the one that everything is sort of based off of.
Yeah.
But I think if DC it can be able to maybe use Wonder Woman as that's the launching point
Yep.
for pretty much everything,
Yep.
I'm okay with that, and that's what would separate them from Marvel.
Yeah.
And that's what would take them into a different direction. And I feel like I agree. I mean, as much as I love Batman and Superman, I'm okay if she kind of is the thing that ties them all together.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm gonna love to see an actual Batman film. I'm gonna love to see Justice League when that comes out,
Yeah.
and maybe even a Flash and Aquaman if they turn out pretty well.
Yeah.
But I think time will tell if this is able to save the DCEU.
Yeah.
But if it does, way to go, Wonder Woman.
Great job.
Wonder Woman saved us all.
Perfect. I think that's a great place to end.
Yeah, perfect. All right, so where can we be able to find you, Jay?
You can always find me every weekday morning from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 93.5 The Move here in Toronto, on social media at TorontoJJ.
Perfect. And you'll be able to find me on this channel. Make sure you like this video if you like this review. Leave a comment below what you think of Wonder Woman. Spoilers or non-spoilers.
Yep.
Make sure you clarify it in the comments below. And make sure you subscribe for more videos on this channel. Thanks for watching. As always, remain obediently yours. Bye.